Hello everybody! So here's Luna Delir again, and I'm here to talk to you about ISTP versus ISTJ. Basically, we're talking about Paul Bethany versus Christina Ricci. Paul Bethany being an ISTP, Christina Ricci being an ISTJ. If you want to watch some of their interviews, you will probably get an idea of the difference in behavior of these two types. Physically speaking, ISTJ a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more in the comfort zone, whereas the ISTP is going to be a little bit more, they kind of look like they have a rod stuck up their butt. Literally speaking. I'm sorry guys, you know I love you, but that's what it look like. They really look rigid and static. And that's one thing about ISTPs. Some examples would be Tom Hanks, Paul Bettany. These guys are ISTPs, and if you look at them, they kind of move as if they didn't want to move their heads too much. And that's one characteristic of ISTPs that I find kind of curious and funny. And that tells them physically apart from ISTJs, because ISTJs instead are very very on the relaxed slash very relaxed, really relaxed kind of type. They tend to put themselves in positions in which they reach the maximum relaxed. Like they are the type that you would mostly see in this position, whereas the ISTP would be more this way and very I don't know how to say it, Russian-like, German-like, very Prussian. TI is the Prussian function, and that's what it's due to. Anyway, let's start from the beginning and let's make a little bit of split between these two types. We're talking about one of my utmost favorite types and one of my least favorite. So if you see some weird bias in the way I say things, that's why. Anyway, ISTP, one of my utmost favorite, of course. ISTPs are TI dominant, so they have this strong sense of measure, this strong sense of structure, and they have a very structured mind. The structure of their intellect is based on their past experience. So basically, they take new things that they face, and these new things that they see in front of them need to fit into a system that they have created over time, comparing this new thing to older things that they have there that they know being correct. TI is the function of correct, of things being correct. Another trait of this function that I would like to point out in this specific video is respect. If FI is the function of politeness, oh my god, the P word again, TI is the function of respect. TI types, TI ego types have a strong need to be respected. That's why ISTPs tend to be mostly Enneagram 8, also Enneagram 3, and Enneagram 5 fit. But Enneagram 8 is really one of the most fitting types for someone that has as the highest priority respect and being respected. They are extremely respectful of others, and they demand respect themselves, and this also connects to their posture and this rigid and very stiff posture that they keep, which is obviously subconscious. But anyway, That's TI in ISTPs. Second function being extroverted sensing, volitional sensing. So they are the creatives in matters of wealth and style. So extroverted sensing is how things are, where things are located around the person, and a sense of aesthetic. I don't know how to put it. It's basically a sense of beauty. Beauty is a very extroverted sensing thing. In fact, extroverted sensing dominant types tend to be well, I think in fact is not the right word I wanted to use there. What I mean is that extroverted sensing dominant types are actually the types that want to look the way they want to look. They can accept some input, some external input as a suggestion or something, but they're going to go for the look that they consider the most beautiful. ESFPs are the gourmets of beauty. And this is extroverted sensing. ISTPs in particular have the ability to create for themselves and for others identities and aesthetics. So another enneagram that I can see a lot in ISTPs is Enneagram 4. It struck me that it fits in their intuition mobilized, meaning the third function, tertiary function, because NI in the third position is also a desire, represents a desire and the need to find meaning everywhere around them. A lot of ISTPs have a strong interest for analyzing the in-depth meaning of movies, art, or anything revolving around the media or art in general, because it helps them find meaning. And this quest for meaning is something in common with Enneagram 4, so it is an Enneagram that can happen among ISTPs. I wouldn't consider it very spread, but it is a possibility, most definitely a possibility. So this is one version of one trait of intuition tertiary. Another trait of intuition tertiary would be that they seek coherence. They are the type that mostly seek coherence. So they never contradict themselves. They always say the same things so that they never go in contradiction with what they said before, and they expect as much from others. Extroverted feeling inferior means that they have a passion for passionate people. They are extremely attracted to people that are emotionally expressive, that can leave things with a kaleidoscope, of emotions, and that can display emotions externally and show them their participation in things. So this is something ISTPs are very attracted to, and that's because of their extrovert feeling inferior. This also makes them very, very, very sensitive to how things are said. They are not much concerned about what is being said as much as they are about how things are said. If in a moment of anger you tell them, "I hate you," they're gonna take it very bad and they're probably not going to talk to you ever again. Whereas if you tell them joking, "Oh my God, I hate you," and they can see that it means the opposite, then they're going to take it very well and they're going to read in between the lines and understand that what you mean is actually that you care about them, or that they were being silly, or whatever the case may be. So these are the things that make an ESTP their valued functions. What I can tell you that can cause confusion, that starts causing confusion with ISTJ, is their use of extrovert thinking. They are extrovert thinking ignoring. This means that an ISTP can literally ignore the law if they consider that law as being useless. And they replace one of their rules to this law, but you can understand that if the state has that law and they are going against the law, they can get in trouble like big time. So that's one trait of ISTPs, and that's extrovert thinking ignoring. And this goes hand in hand with extrovert thinking creative in ISTJs instead. ISTJs have the characteristic of having extrovert thinking creative. It means that they like learning for the sake of learning, and they apply the law according to how they're feeling. So if they feel like one law applies, they're gonna apply it. If they don't feel that that's gonna apply, they're not gonna apply it. They are TE creative types. TE auxiliaries are types that would require contracts to be flexible. Like they're not people to deal with with fixed contracts, as opposed to ISTPs instead, who are very stable and very conservative in their rules. ISTJs are very versatile, and they take rules as they come. If they feel like taking them, they're going to take them. If not, they're not going to take them into account. And that's extrovert thinking creative. They are introvert sensing dominant. This means that they have a strong sense of their personal physical sensations and their personal physical sensations of anybody around them. So an ISTJ is always going to seek the point of utmost comfort for everybody. They are very silent people. If ISTPs with extrovert sensing auxiliary and extrovert feeling seeking enjoy loud atmospheres and boisterous humor, boisterous environments, ISTJs at the opposite, with SI dominant and extrovert feeling vulnerable, are instead seeking very silent and very calm and relaxed atmospheres. I will talk about the vulnerable functions of both types at the end of the video. Anyway, introvert sensing, calm, relax, and they seek to be in calm environments. Another trait of these two functions combined is that SI is physical sensations and TE instead is technical things, like how things perform, how well things are performing is a TE trait. So if someone tells me that I am clipping the sound, or that the audio of my videos is not good enough, or that kind of stuff, you can rest assured that you're gonna be ignored, because that's the two functions I don't care about, and that's because in my stack they are the least considered functions, whereas this kind of information is paramount for an ISTJ, the way things perform according to physical sensation. So audio, video, all these things are going to be extremely important for an ISTJ. There was another thing that I wanted to say about this type, about the first two functions, but if I remember, I will say it later. Anyway, they are introvert feeling mobilized. This means that the most important thing for them is going to be to experience their feelings. ISTJs and INTJs tend to feel like robots. So they have this sense of being robots, and they lose self-esteem if they fear they're not loving anyone. That's why ISTJs and INTJs equally tend to surround themselves with, I don't know, a kitten, or anyway, have always someone or something that they can show love to. And it has to be someone very close, because that is very important to them, to feel deeply. It's not a matter of expressing these feelings, it's a matter of feeling deeply. My cousin, for example, is an ISTJ girl, and she used to be very, very aggressive and bitter as a young girl. But when she got pregnant and had the child, she changed into the opposite. She became a very sweet person, and that's simply because she has the possibility to feel deep love for her daughter, and that makes her feel human, and feeling human boosts her self-esteem. This is one trait of ISTJs, probably the one that I like the most. Anyway, this is FI mobilized. They are extra intuition seeking. It means that they like people that have a lot of ideas and that can change their mind very quickly. Artists, troubadours, they are people that can take home artists for the sake of surrounding themselves of all these ideas and all these new things that this wholeness of the external environment, as socionics defines it. They are introverted thinking demonstrative. This means that they have also very strong introverted thinking, but they tend to dismiss it. So they have the ability to use introverted thinking, and they do to an extent subconsciously, but when faced with someone using introverted thinking, or with having to express their view about the function, they're going to dismiss it, mock it, or anyway criticize it very harshly. One thing that these types do not accept are generalizations and how do I say it? Categories, very closed and tight categories, like EST, like what I do actually when I say that ISTPs are this and ISTJs are that. This is something that for ISTJs doesn't work. They do not accept it, and that's because of TI demonstrative. They also don't accept generalizations, like I said, which is something about which I can actually understand them, because INFJs have the characteristic of not accepting instead ways of saying, like that's a TE trait actually, but the two things are very, very similar. TI is categorizing, and they do not, ISTJs do not accept strong categories and generalizations, therefore INFJs instead are TE vulnerable, and therefore we do not accept stuff like people do that because they're stupid. That's something that we do not understand. That's how people think and what people say. That kind of stuff is TE, and INFJs have trouble with that. So in some way, I can relate to them with the TI thing. I can understand where they're coming from, although I have a strong love for TI. So yeah, anyway, moving on. Well, last thing I want to say is vulnerable functions. So vulnerability of both types for those people who need and feel the need to hear something negative about the types. ISTPs are extrovert intuition vulnerables. So that means that they have difficulties, like ISFPs, they have difficulties understanding the potential of people and the potential of situations. So they can either overestimate themselves or others, or underestimate themselves or others. So That's any vulnerable. Whereas ISTJs are extroverted feeling vulnerable. It means that they are one of the most oppressive types that you can find in the MBTI. They destroy any form of enthusiasm you can think of. I, for example, as an INFJ, tend to be very enthusiastic about a lot of things. And one thing that ISTJs and INTJs a little bit less. They have extra sensing, so in some way they tend to be more flexible in this sense. But ISTJs in particular, every time I'm enthusiastic about something, they gotta kill that. And that's actually feeling vulnerable. That's them not being able to understand the importance of passion and enthusiasm. So I think this is everything I have to say about these two types. I hope it helped, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.